Aarti Industries on Thursday had announced that its board of directors approved the demerger of the pharmaceutical business to Aarti Pharmalabs Limited. That day itself, we had seen the shares down by about 3% in trade. You're seeing Aarti also trade by about a cut of 1% at the moment. Joining us to talk more about the value unlocking proposition and why this demerger is taking place at all is Rajendra Gogri, the top boss at Aarti Industries. Thank you so much for joining us here on the market. My first question is, and explain to our viewers, why are you going in for this demerger? What is the rationale, and by when will it be concluded?
Yeah, last few years our pharma segment has grown significantly in both top line as well as EBIT margin. Top line grew almost double from 420 to around 870 crores. And actually EBIT grew 4 times from around 48 crores to 200 crores. And now very healthy EBIT margin of 20 plus. And we see a significant opportunity in pharma as well as specialty chemical going forward. So that is why we decided that if we have a separate company, there can be a separate focus and separate strategic direction for both the segment. And that's why it is decided that we'll demerge the pharma into a separate company, and it will go through all the legal procedure of NCLT and various approvals. So it should take about, generally it takes about 9 to 15 months to is the process, depending again on the COVID situation.
Now, so you'll have two entities, as you're saying, with no overlap, pharmaceuticals as well as specialty chemicals. Now, earlier, there had been an announcement of a 5,000 crore rupee capex plan. What happens to that? Are you going to split it between the two companies?
Yeah, basically around 750 crores will be in pharma, and rest will be in chemicals. So that's how that bifurcation will take place between the two segments.
All right. Mr. Gogri also wanted to understand, were there any synergies between specialty chemicals as well as pharmaceuticals as a segment in terms of the shared R&D centers and others? And if so, how is it that you're trying to reallocate those between the two segments?
Both the segments have been having a distinct separate manufacturing facility as well as R&D centers. So they have been totally distinct, and as well as our customer base also is separate. So there is virtually no overlap in manufacturing as well as R&D and the market between both the segments.
Okay, good to hear that. I wanted to specifically talk about your pharma business as well. If you could just highlight what exactly is the scalability plan for the next 3 to 5 years? What's your product pipeline looking like? How much capex have you earmarked?
Yeah, pharma, next 5-6 years we are targeting adding more than 50 plus products. We are putting up a new greenfield expansion at Atali, which will be for pharma intermediate as well as APIs. And we see a very good opportunity both in intermediate as well as API for domestic as well as export market. And investment also, as I mentioned earlier, about 750 crores in next 3 years is planned in pharma segment.
So, what I want to understand, when you go in for this demerger, and okay, I understand the markets have been under pressure, but how can you say there is no overlap between pharmaceutical companies and specialty pharmaceutical companies, and why are the markets not reacting well to that?
In our company, they have been totally distinct from the beginning, so there is not virtually overlap between the two. As such. So that is the reason, why we decided to demerge. Actually, we had thought of that even 3-4 years back, but at that time the EBIT margin were lower for pharma. So then we decided to postpone the demerger. by having a separate companies, there can be a clear-cut separate strategic path going forward, whether it is for any merger, acquisition, etc. So, and both are very sizable growth opportunities. In next 5 years, we are looking at increasing top line 2.5 to 3.5 times, and 3 to 4 times at EBIT level for both the segments. So there is a sizable opportunities, and for having a separate focus, the entire demerger has been decided.
So if I can now talk about specialty chemicals, and we've seen specialty chemicals around the world actually do really well. You already have invested about 3 to 4,000 crore rupees in this business. Tell us a bit of what we can expect going forward.
Yeah, specialty chemical, also again in India, there are huge opportunity both for import substitution as well as because of China plus one, and as we have very strong customer base across the end use, we see a lot of opportunities going forward, and we are also planning to add a new chlorotoluene integrated chain, as well as adding new products in our existing products chain, value-added products, and so also adding a new chemistry. So we see a sizable growth over next this first 3 years. We are targeting over 1.8 to 2 times growth, and over next 6 years, same around 3.5 to 4 times growth in specialty chemical also.
Sure. I also wanted to understand, given that a lot of companies have been talking about freight issues, wanted to understand where exactly you stand in terms of your own industry as well as company too. Are you facing any challenges in terms of sourcing raw materials right now, delays in shipments to customers?
As such, we are totally backward integrated, especially in chemical segment. Benzene is the key raw material which is domestically available. So we are not seeing any shortage of raw materials, but container the freights are an issue. Generally, we are able to pass on the freight increase to the customer, but availability of customer containers are sometimes impacting the exports currently.
Sure. Just a couple of more questions. Can we expect the full payment from the first cancelled long-term contract by, say, the year end? Have you finalized the payment with your customer? And more importantly, when will the second and third term contract also start, given that we understand that it's been delayed by more than 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, no, we'll be getting the entire payment by end of this financial year, as per the cancellation fee for the first contract. And second and third contract, second contract is expected to be commissioned in Q3 of this financial year. And the third contract may be in Q4, or it may go over Q1 of next year. So basically, in second half of this year, we are targeting to commission both second and third contract.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gogri, for taking the time and for leading us through those developments. And we look forward to speaking to you once again very soon.